The world of compute and AI is abuzz again with announcements from major players that call Taiwan home. And you know what that means? Computex is back in session once again. From incredible announcements coming from NVIDIA, great hardware that will be powered by it all, and the fun that is sprinkled all in between, Computex is an absolute sensory overload for consumers and businesses alike. Now, I've been coming to Computex for a while now, and it's one of my favorite shows of the year as someone that lives in front of screens basically all the time. And if you ask me, the news that breaks here continues to influence what we end up seeing throughout the year. So I'm going to share my experience at Computex 2026 this year, running through the halls that have become very familiar to me over time, and exploring ones that might not totally be in my wheelhouse, but are still sights to behold, and taking glimpses into the future, thanks to some major developments and a new hall that places robotics at the forefront. And I'm also going to share why this city and its culture are part of the reason why I keep coming back to this conference every year. You can see the craziness behind me. It's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Computex 2026. Shouts out to Computex themselves for covering my travel and accommodations while here at one of the most impactful tech shows of the year. To learn more about Computex and to get ready for your own visit to Taipei for the show, I have left links in the description and in the pinned comment below. I call Computex impactful because there are always announcements made here that set tech fans ablaze with excitement. To be fair, the overwhelm of a typical tech trade show doesn't feel quite as insane here, but it is certainly growing and becoming as such. But for me, that's probably because I tend to call this particular part of the show, Floor 4 of Hall 1, I call it home. Now, Nangang Exhibition Center Building 1, Floor 4 is where a lot of the brands you might be familiar with are exhibiting a lot of the consumer products that you're going to see throughout the year. Behind me is the entrance to get in, but right behind the camera right now, as I'm right in the middle of the scrum, is a bunch of the different brands like ROG and ASUS and Gigabyte. Even MediaTek is back there, and I got to see them for a bit to try to take a look at some of the new NVIDIA Spark announcements. Everyone wants to take a look at all of those things, and well, it is a little bit complicated to get through all of the halls unscathed. Major players have booths here that are just sensory overloads. For example, Acer sticks with the green colors until you get to the Predator line. Handheld PC gaming is huge right now, and it continues to grow as a category. A lot of those announcements you might see at other shows like CES and whatnot, but a lot of the companies that make these handheld PCs are stationed right here in Taiwan. Hence, Computex is a great place to be able to see where that category is going. What makes the Predator Atlas 8 pretty interesting is that it's powered by Intel Arc graphics. So you have a whole bunch of these different companies providing the different solutions for handheld gaming PCs and the performance that you would want to have playing AAA games on the go. And I'm personally interested in it because I haven't actually used one of these handhelds that has Intel Arc graphics at the helm yet. Asus and ROG up the ante even more with booths that are chock full of their many new offerings. As someone that is really on the gaming side of things, ROG tends to pull me in anyway. In particular, they have the 20th anniversary lineup that brings gold accents to the RGB, but usually R, stylings. But while all of the products and presentations from brands like this are definitely in your face, they are surrounded by endless other companies that make up a melting pot of tech innovations. This one floor alone is a nerd's paradise, a place where the culture is on full display. Sometimes the swag at the various booths at Computex can be really creative as well. Like over here at the PNY booth, they're actually using a laser etching device machine to create some very personalized swag, right down to having a picture of you etched onto a little PNY plate along with maybe your signature over on the side. I think one of my homies who's here with me with Computex, Brandon Lee, I think he was actually able to get one of these himself. Well, I did end up getting some swag, and it was here at the Varmilo booth, where they have artists that customize various mechanical keyboards and also game controllers. Namely, fighting game controllers, ones with and without joysticks. That's right up my alley as a fan of Street Fighter 6. I do love playing that. They are also having Street Fighter 6 being played over here, and maybe, if I'm not too rusty, I might be able to get pretty far in this little mini tournament that they're having. Components for building PCs are a very common sight, with every booth showcasing their wares in as eye-catching a way as possible. Take, for example, Thermaltake, who decided to put some of the people's creations front and center at their booth. Alright, so I have a bit of a confession. I have actually never built a PC before. I'm always all about the pre-builds, that's usually what I end up purchasing. But building PCs and all of the crazy, creative, expressive ways of personalizing them, that's a huge part of the culture here at Computex. And you get to see it in all of its glory right here on the show floor, whether it's going to be via RGB everything types of setups or some downright bizarre designs for the various ways that you can put together the components of a computer. It is absolutely fascinating to see all of that in real life. If I had to pick my favorite one though, it might be this guy right here. Turns out it's made by somebody in the Philippines, so shouts out to you guys. But also, they love that retro look, complete with a screen up here up front showing a bit of a DOS interface. I love the retro stuff, and if you look inside, it still has all of the super powered specs that you would need to make this a computer that you can rely on every day, whether you're gaming or anything else.
Speaking of building PCs, ROG were even making that a literal competition, pitting creators that you might know against each other in front of a live audience. And when you think about it, all of this fun and all these endpoint products are themselves intense blends of the various parts and all-important components made real by some major innovations. PC builds can look cool, they can look simple, complicated, insane on the outside, but they house so many important things within that power daily life and work and play. And that cacophony kind of sounds like Computex itself, doesn't it? Honestly, that sounds like Taipei itself. The place that Computex calls home feels like it's constantly moving somewhere between the needs of the present and the innovations of the future, all harmoniously steeped in the memories of past traditions. Many parts of life here feel like they are treated with care and respect, from cuisine to textiles to the technology, whether it's digital or analog, that eventually ties it all together. It's easy to like Computex when the vibes and the culture of the city provide such a backdrop, but it's not like Taipei is just about the hustle and bustle. Just a little ways out of the city, beautiful landscapes can be found, where you can find intersections of nature and history. I've come to Taipei multiple times at this point, and it took me a little while to put two and two together, but I can really feel a pride from many of the companies that call this place home. I mean, how could you not when there's so much offered here? And it makes sense that exhibitors and attendees alike look forward to Computex every year to enjoy everything about the show and where it emanates, the same ways that I was able to during this trip. So, enter the various companies that come to connect and to mind meld with fellow brands across the tech spectrum and from around the world. That's where Innovex over at Hall 2 of the Convention Center comes in.
The cool part about Innovex is that you have companies from all around the world. I saw companies from Canada, I saw companies from Korea, Yokohama, Japan showed up at one point. And then one of my favorite parts is actually over on the side, which is a startup alley. This is literally where you can have various startups right next to one another so that you walk down that alley and you have a chance to see some pretty interesting stuff all at once, or rather back to back to back. And it's not like you won't recognize any of the brands. I mean, I went over to the startup alley and there was Plod, the AI-powered voice recorder that you can use really discreetly. It's a very small device. Even if you go to the pin version that can be strapped to your wrist, you just hold the button, talk to it, give it whatever you need, even if it might be meetings and calls and reminders, and the app will be able to transcribe, summarize, and give you even more based upon what you have it save. It's just great to see the blend, the sort of harmony among all of the different countries that are inside of this particular floor at Innovex. But in general, at Computex, you have all of the B2B and also all of the consumer electronics that are all represented together at this show, sometimes even right next to each other on the show floor.
And you know what? It's worth being at this year's Computex because the buzz around it might be higher than ever. NVIDIA always finds ways to make splashes each year at the show, but they were really cooking with MediaTek to bring about the announcement of RTX Spark. And the commotion around it was palpable. Even Jensen Huang himself came out to various booths to make appearances regarding the new platform and literally sign his name on the new computing frontier that the brands involved are clearly very confident in. I also can't help but be very excited for the new laptops that are coming with the RTX Spark, complete with an insane amount of CUDA cores, 128 gigabytes of unified memory that would make everything from agentic AI to productivity to creative apps all work without skipping a beat, and then the graphics performance that will definitely please the gamers. It's wild to talk about a Windows on ARM PC managing to entice and satisfy literally all of these types of users in the same platform and packages, but that is literally why the RTX Spark made such an impact. Now, I did get a chance to see the demos showing off all of these capabilities, with creative apps like Adobe Premiere clearly speaking to the content creator in me, and the high-powered frame generation gaming demo making it clear that I'm going to be just as distracted by these new laptops as I am productive with them. All the demos were shown on their own little announcement of a laptop, the Microsoft Surface Laptop Ultra. That being said, the other OEMs brought out their hardware to show where these capabilities can also be found. HP brought out the OmniBook X14, Dell continues the revival of their XPS lineup with the XPS 16, and ASUS targets the RTX Spark to the creative professionals with the ProArt P14 and P16. The wide gamut of laptops that are geared towards both specific and everyday users should be enough of a tell regarding this new platform and how far-reaching its abilities will be. I imagine a non-zero amount of people, and by that I mean a lot of people, will be looking to any of these new laptops as their new do-it-all machines, and plenty of media coverage will paint these laptops as the future. Or at the very least, they will be positioned as direct competitors to Apple Silicon platforms and the products that it powers. As it was said on stage for the NVIDIA keynote, this could be seen as the reinvention of the PC. Early days will tell how these new computers actually live up to the hype, but the level of confidence I can see from all parties involved make me feel pretty excited for what the future holds. And glimpses into the future are certainly what a show like Computex is trying to offer, which manifests in a new area of the show floor found farther off from the main convention center over in the Taipei World Trade Center. In the literal shadow of Taipei 101, this hall is focused primarily on robotics, from the components that make up their construction to showing off the actual robots at work themselves. There were a lot of crazy things on display. One robot, for example, was shown figuring out what was in front of it and then deploying arms to press certain buttons or retrieve an item that is then safely given to an actual person. Plenty of other robot arms were carrying out automated tasks, while others were simply made to be approachable and be able to action upon recognized subjects and voice prompts. Think robot concierges, if you will.
I knew it. I was gonna find one. You can't have a robotics area without some sort of robot barista. This one's a little bit simple in the case that it's providing this idea of a robot being able to grab items and hand it to people, not necessarily making the coffee or any of the items that it is providing. That being said, way back there is still a robot arm that is getting the cup of my iced coffee and it's going to put it aside, and eventually this homie right here is going to go over, grab that cup, hand it over to me, put it down on the counter for me to just safely pick it up. There are stores in the world that are like unmanned, especially in Asia, but now it doesn't have to be manned. It can actually have something providing some of that service. Here comes my cup of coffee. Thank you very much. And there we go. Definitely the pickup I needed this morning.
And of course, what makes all of this come to life in a believable way? Well, you guessed it, it's AI.
It's presenting a lot of the things that AI is supposed to do for us, but bringing it into the physical world. This feels a little bit like a scene out of Star Wars or some futuristic movie where all of these robots are supposed to be here to recognize environments and people and objects and then be able to do things with them in the physical world. So for this robotics area to be a new hall here at Computex, I think it makes a lot of sense. And I'm sure it's going to grow quite a bit alongside all of the other things that are growing in the world of compute and technology.
But this robotics hall left plenty of room for other forms of tech as well, including a look at some stuff coming from the old friends at E-Ink. Even the BMW, with literal color-changing panels, was there, with demos of the whole car changing appearance every 10 minutes or so. And of course, you can't go that far in Computex without seeing some sort of custom case or RGB or PC component showing out, but E-Ink is a great example of how the business side of things is on display. Quite literally.
But the whole point of a conference like Computex is to show how all of the tech that we might kind of take for granted in our daily lives can be applied to so many other parts of life. Case in point, I'm sitting in this bus that E-Ink brought to the robotics area of this show, and it's filled with E-Ink displays that are showing advertisements, the transit schedule, and the route. On the outside, the E-Ink displays are actually being used in order to decorate the bus itself, to give it different looks whenever they need it. And this is just one example. E-Ink displays can be used in so many other places as well, like showing the menu in a restaurant or a cafe, for example. It's just all a great way of showing how these technologies can actually become a part of our daily lives.
Clearly, Computex has become an essential part of the yearly tech landscape and has grown considerably to meet the caliber of announcements its many brands and exhibitors bring to Taipei. I've been witness to a lot of that growth after my first Computex back in 2017. There were always exciting announcements from the likes of ASUS and NVIDIA and MSi, to name just a few. But now they have sprawling booths that are like playgrounds of tech and gadgetry for anyone passing by to see just how much these companies can do. And that sense of wonder and awe is available to any and all who come to the show, including the general public, who can enter on the final day of the conference. If you've never been to a Computex before and have even a passing interest in any of the worlds of tech, computing, gaming, and enterprise, it should be your next tech destination. Computex themselves seem to know that they're reaching critical mass, hence the opening of a new hall dedicated in part to what could be our future. But the conference and its culture are rooted in a place that has a wide-reaching tapestry of sights, sounds, tastes, and people of its own. A city of people that are clearly constantly connected but never too far from the world that they look to improve. I feel that kind of harmonious blend between the various worlds more at this show than at any other, and that's why I keep coming back.
There it is. It's done. You can't see it up there, but it says see you June 1st to 4, 2027. That will be the next one, and I hope I'm there.
Maybe I'll see you at a Computex in the future in Taipei, Taiwan. From here though, I'm going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you so much for kicking it with me again today. Please take care of yourselves and each other, and enjoy your tea, everybody. Oh, and that's right, the tea coming from Taiwan is also pretty dang great.